If you haven't met me, my name is Shelby, and I'm going to bring us a bit of our talk today. And we are going to be talking about plants. Hands up if you're a green thumb. Yeah, you're a green thumb? That's good. I'm going to have to learn from you today. Because I am not a green thumb. Anyone who knows me knows that I am not very good at keeping plants alive. And I know that Ben, if you were here last week, Ben mentioned the same. So you can only imagine the state of the pot plants in our house with two very much not green thumbs. To the point where when we moved in January, we moved house, the Freer family, who couldn't make it today, but they knew that we were not very good at keeping plants alive. So instead of bringing us a nice, beautiful pot plant, which they knew would only last a week, they instead came and brought me this. And I love it. Because if you can't see it very well, it is crocheted, possibly knitted, I think it's crocheted, and I can't kill it. So I love it. It is fantastic. And if we could get some slides up, if you can see them there. I am not very good at planting. However, my boys, we try, don't we? I wonder if you have ever planted a seed and let it grow. Hands up or give me a wave if you've ever planted a seed and watched it grow. Just call out, what is it that you've planted before? Cucumber, tomato, alfalfa. Ooh, nice. What have you planted, Micah? Have you planted a capsicum before? It's almost alive. I think it counts. Okay, you can stay with me, mate. All right, yeah. We planted a capsicum. We did very good. Thank you. Yep, we did plant a capsicum, absolutely. Now, I'm not the most qualified to be speaking about planting, keeping seeds alive. However, I have been told that there are 3 key things to think about when we plant our seeds, to let them grow, to keep them alive. I wonder if you can think what those 3 key things are. The first one is we need water. We need water to keep our plants alive. The second one is we need sun. And the third one is where we put it, the environment, where we put our plant. If you're a green thumb, can you give me your thumbs up that I am on track here? Are these 3 important things? Okay, we have got the room's green thumbs up. This is good, I'm on track. Ben has put this on the test for us this week because we didn't know, we don't do this. So he's tested it out. And this week, he has put all of these 3 elements in place to try to plant seeds and see if they grow. And guess what he made? I think he's pretty clever. He made cress seeds. How good's that? He planted seeds and he made sure they had enough water, he made sure they had enough sun, and he made sure they had the right environment, which means he made sure that he put it in the right place. And the most amazing thing happened. Kids, can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah, good. Can we give Ben a clap? Good job. From a self-declared brown thumb, this is good. You see, the picture of growing seed, why are we talking about this today? The picture of growing seeds and watching something grow from it is actually an image that Jesus uses to describe our faith in the Bible. And he says, from Matthew 17 to 20, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move." I think that's a pretty cool image. Can you imagine anything as small as one of these tiny little seeds? I'm going to get it out so we can see just how small it is. Hold it on my hand. Something as tiny as this little seed. Most of you won't even be able to see it because it's so small. Something this size being big enough and strong enough and powerful enough to move a mountain. Can you believe that? But that is what Jesus says. The point here is that this tiny little seed can grow into something big and strong. And the same is true for our faith. Jesus says, you don't need to come to me with this big, amazing, powerful faith. No. You can come to me with something as small as this. I can work with that. I can grow that into something so much bigger. How cool is that? It kind of takes the pressure off, doesn't it? That we don't have to come to Jesus with it all figured out. But we can just come, no matter how small we feel. But the thing is, those tiny little seeds, they're not going to grow on their own, are they? They need to be nurtured. And they need 3 key things to help them grow. You see, when we plant these seeds, they are really thirsty. And so one of the first things, as we said, that we need is we need to give them enough water to drink. Jesus uses this picture, the water and being thirsty, to describe our relationship with him as well, describe our faith. And if you were here last week, Ben spoke about that. We're not going to go into depth in this scripture today. If you weren't here last week, grown-ups, I really recommend you head to our website and we listen to Ben's sermon from last week that talks about it. But John 4:14 says, whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. If we want our cress seed to grow, then we need to give it water. And if we want our faith, our belief in Jesus to grow, then we need to add Jesus. We need to pour Jesus in, just like we pour water into the cress seeds. What do we mean by pouring Jesus? We mean spending time with him. It means praying with him, chatting with him, learning about him, reading about him. It means listening to music, worship music, just being with him. Just like it doesn't matter how we water our seeds, I could use a cup, I could use a watering can, I could use my water bottle. It doesn't matter how I water. It's the same with us in how we pour Jesus into our lives. It doesn't matter how we do it, but it matters that we do. The second thing, so that's the water, the second thing that our cress seed needed was sunlight. Cress seeds, Google tells me this, don't trust me, but we're going to trust Google. Cress seeds grow best when they've had 4 to 6 hours of sunlight per day. Jesus uses the imagery in John about light as well. Ben, we're not again going to be going too deep. Come next week, Ben's going to be speaking about this. But Jesus uses the image of light. And let's take a sneak peek. In John 8:12, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness. And then it goes on to say, but will have the light of life. You see, this one's a little bit different, isn't it, to the water? It's not saying spend time with me. It's not saying pour Jesus. It's saying follow. That's what we just did, follow. If we follow Jesus with our lives, then we will see our faith grow. If we say, okay, yes, Jesus, I believe in you, but we never actually go out into our lives and allow the way we act, the way we think, the way we speak to be transformed into the way that Jesus acts and speaks and lives, then we're not actually going to see the growth because we're only watering, but we're not getting the sunlight. Just like this little cress seed needs sunlight to grow, we too need to live in the light of Jesus to see our faith grow. And number 3, what was the third thing that we needed? Let's have it up on the screen. We need the environment where we put our seed, where we put ourselves. If I planted these seeds and I thought, okay, cool, I'm going to give it water, done. I'm going to go put it out in the sun for 4 to 6 hours, done. All right, now I'm going to go put it in the freezer. Will it grow? No. What if I put it in the oven? No. Thanks, Donna. No. Because where I put it matters. Where I put it matters. And it's the same for ourselves in our life. Where we put ourselves matters. The people, the places, the things we surround ourselves make a big difference in how our faith grows. Proverbs 13:20, and it's up on the screen. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffer. I find this really confronting. I read it from the Message version, and it said, become wise by walking with the wise, but listen to this, hang out with fools and watch your life fall apart. Hang out with fools and watch your life fall apart. You see, just like our crest seeds, we need to think about where we put ourselves in our life, the people we are spending time with, the media we consume, the TV and the YouTube channels we watch, whether we prioritize coming to church and being surrounded by other people who are going to help nurture our growth. We need to be asking the questions, Jesus, am I putting myself in the places that I need to so that my faith can grow? In about 5 to 10 minutes, we are going to have a go at planting our own crest seeds. And we are going to get to take home our little cup of crest seeds and watch it grow as a reminder for ourselves during our week on how we need to be nurturing our own faith and watching our own faith grow in our week. But before we do that, on your chairs when you walked in, you would have likely come across a little check-in tool, and it looks something like this, and a pen. And if you didn't, it's absolutely okay. There's plenty of spares at the back that you can grab. But we're going to spend just 5 minutes, just ourselves and Jesus, and we're just going to be thinking through, in the next week, in what ways for water, in the next 7 days, what will you do to pour more Jesus into your life? Remember, this one's about spending time with Jesus. It might be something that you are already doing, and then you go, this is something that I'm already doing to pour it in, and I'm going to keep doing that this week. Or it might be, you know what, I'm just not pouring much Jesus into my life. That's okay. This is an opportunity to come to Jesus and say, what can I do this week to be pouring Jesus into my life? The next one is sun. And remember, this is about following Jesus. In the next 7 days, what areas of your daily life do you recommit as you seek to follow Jesus? So these are thinking about the areas of our life that we go, you know what? I'm not actually walking in the light here. I actually need more sunlight. I actually need to recommit this to Jesus and say, Jesus, I hand this to you. And this week, I'm going to walk with you in this space. So that's the sun. And then in the environment, so where we put our faith. In the next 7 days, what are the people, the places, and the things that could either help or hinder my relationship with Jesus? Just doing a bit of a stock take on ourselves. Kids, if you are in the blue group, hands up if you're in the blue group. Yeah, so that means year 1 and up. I want to really encourage you to give this one a bit of a go. Have a bit of a think about it. Just see what you think. But if you don't want to do that, and for our younger kids who might not be ready for that, we have got a very fun, and Liam, I'm just going to walk over to this one over here. Come and put down on the kids' tables down here. And you guys, while our adults are having some check-in time, you guys get to take your cup that you're going to be using throughout the week to plant your seeds. And there's all sorts of fun little stickers and decorations that you can use to decorate your cups. Sounds good? 5 minutes, and then we'll come back, and then we'll plant some seeds. Let's do it. Amazing. Good job, everyone. Am I on? Yes, I'm on. How did we go planting your cress seeds? Did you do good? Excellent. Did you know I got through all the steps and then I went and sat down next to Beth and I looked at hers and I went, I forgot the Glad wrap. So I really should just stay with my little crocheted one over here. But I felt that that was a good illustration that how often do we almost get it and we just miss something? And we just miss something and that's going to affect our growth. And so as we go out into the week, I encourage you to take your little seeds, your little cup, and if you did one of these, take this as well. And just remind yourself, read it a couple of times throughout the week to remind yourself, because how easy is it for us to remember the water and the sun, but then forget the environment? Or how easy is it to remember the water and the environment, but forget the sun? So these are your reminders, these are your challenges for the week, and we're going to do that.